What's good, people? It's your grown man, Julian Harvey, aka Motion Picture, back at you with another video. This is a trucking video, back on my new channel, Trucks, Guns, and Kicks. When we talk about the trucking industry, we talk about starting a business and building a business. We talk about guns as far as in firearms. We also talk about guns as far as working out, keeping your body in shape, following me on my journey, getting back in shape and eating right and doing things like that. Also, kicks, aka fashion. We talk about fashion, nice shoes, nice kicks, nice gym shoes, nice dress clothes, nice suits. As I do my workout journey, get back in shape and wear some fly gear, go out and have a good time sometimes. But this is a trucking video for today. I want to give you a little bit of my experiences and what I have been to up to this far while I'm trying to start my business and do what I got to do. I got my CDL probably like in 2017, most likely 2017. I was a CNA at the time, going to nursing school. And nursing school is a beast. So I was doing the nursing thing and I almost made it through the program and things didn't work out. So I had to switch careers and I chose trucking. One of the CNAs gave me a flyer to Father Flager's church in Chicago. And basically it was like, you say you wanted to get your CDL as well, go ahead and do that. So I decided to go ahead and go to his church and let them help me out and getting my CDL. I didn't know what I was doing. I took a leap of faith, went up there, registered, chose Snyder to pay for my school, and basically that's what I did. So I went through Snyder basically sent me to 160 Driving Academy, and that was an experience in itself. I'll probably get to that in another video, but that was an experience by itself. I'll talk about my driver school experience in another video, go into depth about that. But so I eventually got my CDL. Then I started with Snyder, and it was an experience. It was an experience going with Snyder, and they was teaching me the ropes, and I didn't pass. Snyder had you at that time had you go through like 3 weeks of training, and my first trainer wouldn't pass me, but then I got another guy, and basically a brother, and he thought I was good enough to go out there on my own, and he said he passed me, and I got in my own truck. So I got out there and I was learning. I was over the road. I was doing regional. So I'm going to different places, learning how to back and stuff, because my backing was terrible at the time. But I was learning, getting the experience in, going to different place, had the jitterbugs. I was kind of terrified of what's going on. But I stayed with Snyder for a while. But Snyder, they didn't have a union or anything and nothing like that. And at the time I was like, I was believing the hype of the trucking and didn't know, I thought I was gonna come in making $1,000 a week at least, and that's not what happened. I was with Snyder, man, and they weren't paying me good at all. My checks was like 500, 600, sometimes 400, and I was getting the gist of things they teaching me about, trip planning and the Qualcomm at the time, and learning things. And I was real disappointed, because I thought, because they hyped trucking up so much, that I was gonna jump in the game and basically, get 1,000 a week coming in, and that wasn't the case. So I stayed with them. It taught me some valuable lessons. I had one incident when I was with them. I think I was pulling out. I'm still a new driver. I was pulling out, a shipper, and it was a gate, and I turned the truck too quick, and my trailer scraped against the gate a little bit, and I put a hole in the trailer a little bit. So that was my first mistake, when I was Snyder. But eventually, I still felt they weren't paying me enough. So, I end up leaving, after 6 months, and I owed them about $1,000 that I never paid, for paying for my trucking school. Because I stayed with them for, I think, 5 months. No, I didn't stay with them 6. I think I stayed with them 4 months. And I got out of there because, I ain't like the way, they was trying to, they was paying me. I thought we should get paid more than that. So, I went to another company. I went to JB Hunt, and I was doing intermodal over at JB Hunt for about a year. And it was cool at JB Hunt. It wasn't bad. I was getting paid a little more, 700 to 800 range, on a good week, probably 9, but 7 to 8. No, a good week, about 850, 7 to 800 range. I'm out, a week, and then I'm back, for the weekend. So, it was a hired experience. I used to hate the fact that, when you're doing intermodal and you're doing containers, that was my first container experience. So, it was like, it was all right. It was cool, but containers is rough because you got the chassis, you got the containers, you got to lock the you got to lock the containers onto the chassis. And a lot of time, that's moving freight. It's moving, like you disconnecting the trailer from the chassis. It's going on the train and all that. So a lot of times, the equipment is raggedy because it's getting banged up all the time. You'll get a chassis, it don't got no, lights in the back. Or the fifth wheel is not the fifth wheel, but the landing gear is terrible, or it's some type of lights missing. Well, it won't lock, so you got to go find a new chassis, and that could take hours. And they was paying by the mile, so if you in the rail yard looking for a chassis for hours upon a time, it's terrible. If you in the if you looking for a chassis for hours upon a time, like, man, you losing money. So sometimes it might take you an hour to find a chassis. Sometimes you might be looking for that chassis for an hour, then you can't find it. Then they'll tell you to go somewhere else to get a chassis, then come back and get the the box, and then you gotta wait to get the box put on you. So you done spent 4 or 5 hours just doing that alone. So you losing money. So it was a crazy experience. It took some getting used to, and it's frustrating at times. But you do what you gotta do. It was still a learning experience. And that wasn't a union job as well. Like, it paid all right, paid cool. So I spent about a year there, and then they had me go and do a sleep apnea test. They just out the blue. I'm like, I'm cool. So I went, and did it. And it seemed like they was just trying to push it on you. And it seemed like the doctor, it seemed like more of a money grab than what you actually needed. Some people might need the sleep apnea machine. I might have to get retested, and I might end up needing a sleep apnea machine because I done gained some weight, my neck a little bigger. You know what I'm saying? And that's another thing in trucking. You got to stay healthy, man. Keep your blood pressure good. Keep your blood sugar under control. Make sure you working out, you getting out this truck. That's why I named it the channel what I named it, because I got to get my fitness on. I done fell off, and I got to get back into it. But yeah, back to the situation at hand. It was like they wanted me to take this. It seemed like it was more of a money grab than what you actually needed. So when they told me that, he was like, they told me you got to get the machine or you can't work here or whatever. I was like, what, man? I'm out of here. So I ended up leaving, JB Hunt and going to another company. I went to ABF, which was a great company, riding local in Chicago. I went to ABF, ABF Freight. And they had you doing a lot of stuff. They had you doing something called shuttle, where you go to the rail yards and you pick up chassis and regular boxes that they put on the train. And it was good. It was a union job, so this was actually my best trucking job. And a lot of people get into ABF and they don't want to leave. That's one of them jobs like UPS that you don't, you got good union, you got good pension, it's good pay, probably some of the best paying jobs in trucking. You know, UPS I think is the highest, but ABF is up there. So if you could get in, a lot of people won't leave. You know what I'm saying? They got in there, so that basically that's what I was doing. You know, you do shuttle, you go to different rail yards, or you could do what they call P&D, pickup and delivery. You know, they have you do that pickup and delivery. So you're doing that. So you basically going to different stores. You might, you know, have a lift gate, meaning, you know, you taking stuff off the back with the pallet jack and take it in stores. And sometimes it sucks and sometimes it's rewarding, but it's work. You know, you got to get in there and do the work. And you know, it was cool. It was definitely a learning experience and it wasn't bad. So you doing that, you know, you doing pickup and delivery every now and then. You know, they had a part called I forgot what it was called. It wasn't P&D. It was another part basically where, you know, you would drive to like another state that's close that you could get back, but you had to drive the truck to that state, basically get there, unload your truck, you know, with forklifts, then load your truck back up, you know, with the forklift, and then drive back. So you might drive 4 hours, you know, to your destination, spend 2 hours unloading and loading your truck, and then drive 4 hours back, and that's the end of your shift. I forgot exactly what that was called. It wasn't shuttle, it wasn't P&D. I forgot what they used to call it. But you know, that was an experience, you know, and it was good. The only thing that sucked about ABF, that really sucked, that was terrible, that a lot of people didn't want to do, you was on call. You know, you was on call. You was on call basically, and you was considered a 10% over there. So they had you basically a 10%er, and that's basically you on call. They could call you anytime, any shift, 2 hours before your shift, and you had to be there within 2 hours and do your job. So, you know, I don't have no kids, I don't have no wife, so it was like cool. You know, I did it. I made good money. Probably that was the most money I done made probably in my life. And I was like, you know, about 80K with overtime a year, and sometimes over 80K. So, like I said, a lot of people don't leave that job. You know, a lot of people don't leave it. You know, jobs like that. In UPS, you make more. So a lot of people don't leave those jobs. They retire. You talk to a lot of guys, they say basically they'll say they, you know, they've been there 20 years, 30 years, 25 years. You know, I don't know if I'm not built to work for nobody for that long. So, you know, and I worked there about 3 years, you know, got that experience. So I worked there about 3 years, and you know, I eventually I left. I wanted to get my own truck. That was my goal when I got my CDLs anyway, to basically my CDL anyway was basically to build my own company and start my own company and do my own thing out here. So you know, I got the entrepreneur spirit, so that's what I wanted to do. So that's what I'm doing now. Right now I'm working for a company, a small company, a family owned company, you know, a husband and wife, and you know, they helping me in the process of getting my own truck. You know, the truck I'm currently in is possibly the truck I could be buying. You know, I'll give a tour of it eventually. You know, it's nothing less like you know, to run home about. It's not a new truck. It's a 2014, but it runs good, and it had a engine overhaul. You know, my transmission went out last week. They put a new transmission in here. So, you know, if I buy, you know, we're gonna go through the motions and we're gonna build, and this will be the first truck. I already named her. So, you know, I'm thinking about, you know, going ahead and you know, buying her. And I named her Yvette, the Black Bird. You know, it's Yvette the Black Bird, and she ain't black, she white. You know what I'm saying? But I might eventually get a pay right, or the red bird, get a play red or black. You know, I gotta make up my mind. But you know, that's God willing. You know, but today, you know, on more crazy things, and I'm gonna get into more situations that happen at UPS or happen at, you know, my other jobs, and drop videos, and you know, about my experiences and about my mistakes that I have made, because everything in trucking is not peaches and cream. everything you mess. A lot of people get out here and mess up. You learning as you go. You mess up. You learning. It's a learning curve. You doing certain things when you trying to advance, or you trying to change, or you just learning. Trucking it can be hard. Trucking can be tedious, especially starting a business in trucking. But as you going through your learning curves, you're gonna make mistakes, but hopefully you learn from the mistakes. I'm still making mistakes. Today, I was driving, and instead of, I seen the trucks pulling into the scale, but for some reason I just didn't pull into the scale, and basically I went around the scale, and DOT came to get me today. So I'm basically shut down. You know what I'm saying? I'm shut down. I'm trying to turn the camera so y'all can see it, but no, I don't think y'all can see it. I think it just took a picture. But I'm basically shut down. Is it still recording? Yeah. I'm basically shut down, at the DOT station or whatever, and they put me, out of service. So that was a mistake of mine, because yesterday, I tried to pull a personal convenience thing, and I was watching the Truck and My show, and you could drive personal convenience if you put for entertainment. You could drive a while. You could drive 3 or 4 hours. They can't tell you how long you could go for entertainment. I did that twice, but this time I put what did I put? I put safety official, saying, it was a safety official that basically, he came and told me I had to move, and I drove further than I should have drove. Instead of stopping at the next truck stop, I drove like 100 miles, to get to a truck stop I was comfortable at. And they said you can't do that. So he put me out of compliance for being out of service. So I got points on my license, and I got points on the company, which is not good. Which the people I work for is not happy with me right now. And I'm not happy with myself because I made a mistake, but mistakes happen. So, even though, I've been driving for a while, I still make mistakes. This is my first time really been put out of service, since I have my CDL. And it take a while for them points to drop off your license. You don't want to get too many violations on your license, because then people won't hire you. Even though I'm trying to start my own company, you still don't want to do that, especially if you're working for a smaller company. You don't want to put bad marks on a company, and also you don't want to have those marks on your license, because what if you do have to go back to a company? Even if you start your own company, things happen, trucks break down, you got to go back, you got to rebuild, you got to do things. So you don't want to have that on your license either, and people looking at you as a bad driver. So that was a mistake I made today, and it's a learning curve. I know not to ever put safety official and keep driving again. If I gotta keep driving, I definitely put entertainment and then go where I need to go. But other than that, I know not to do that again, and I'm not going to do that and jeopardize this company again. So I know, not to do that anymore. So with that being said, this is my second video on this channel pertaining to trucks. Like I said, we got a bunch of stuff that we're going to be going over and talking about on this channel, and I'm going to be getting better with the editing and the videos I do. I'm going to be getting better every day, and I want y'all to grow with me. I want y'all to grow with me on my fitness journey. As a trucker, trying to get in shape, that's not easy. So if I fall off or I don't get to certain goals, it's all right. I'm going to keep going. And, I need all the encouragement I can get. So if you can encourage me, and we can encourage each other, this is the channel for you. You know what I'm saying? As I, build my gun collection and go to the range and check out different guns, as I build, it's going to take a while. It might not be quick, but I want y'all to see all my growth and where I came from this point on to the future. As I build my trucking business, I want y'all to come with me on this journey. I'm going to be transparent. I'm not trying to sugarcoat, or I'm not trying to impress nobody like a lot of these other trucking YouTube people is, you know, because you know in the trucking game, truck drivers lie. You know, so many lie. They lie. They try to make it more glamorous than it is. Tell you they're making more money than they actually making. No, I'm not that type of truck driver. I'm gonna tell you when I'm broke down. I'm gonna tell you when that week didn't go great. I'm gonna tell you when I ain't make that much money as I thought I was. I'm gonna tell you when I'm messed up. When I gotta start over. I gotta build. I gotta save my money. And that's another thing. In the trucking game, you gotta save your money. And sometimes I got a spending habit. You know, I like to do things I want to do. You know, sometimes I like to go trick off on a woman or something, do crazy stuff. So that's something I got to work on. And you know, I'm gonna be an open book. You know, I ain't gonna try to tell y'all all my business. But I'm gonna tell y'all enough where y'all get to know me enough. You know. So with that being said, you know, we're gonna build. Like I said, I like fashion. I didn't get too out of shape to wear the clothes I want to wear, so I want to get back to that. I want to get back to on my Kevin Samuel stuff, wearing suits and, you know, wearing some nice urban gear as well as nice gym shoes. You know, I like Jordans, you know, what Yeezy going through. I might get some Yeezys or whatever, you know, become a sneakerhead on the show. You never know. Just follow me in my journey, you know, and show me what you're doing. I'll show you what I'm doing and help this channel grow. So make sure y'all subscribe. This is the second video. Make sure y'all subscribe. Make sure y'all like this video. You know, get the algorithm up. You know, I'm just a man out here trying to make it and just showing my hobbies and trying to stay consistent. So if you could support and you made it this far, I thank you and salute.